10% from the $3 million allocated in years past. Commissioners said the cuts were needed in part to further fund fixes to the Fulton County Jail and the rising demands of the newly established consent decree with the Department of Justice.
So this is about people in this particular field that really need this funding.
But now Commissioner Dana Barrett, along with Marvin Arrington Jr., are pushing to amend the budget to get that $1.7 million back for the arts in time to award programs who just last month applied for contract for services through the county.
If we wait on this until mid-year, it will be too late for a lot of these organizations, which is why I felt like we needed to move now. Some of the smaller organizations may have to shutter altogether.
In 2024, Georgia ranked last in state funding for the arts, with just 14 cents per taxpayer going to the arts, compared to Minnesota, where more than $9 per taxpayer go to arts programming. Acosta fears continued cuts to arts funding could at minimum muzzle and at worst silence the sound and soul of the city.
It'll be us stepping back. It will be Atlanta no longer being a leader in the South when it comes to culture.
Some commissioners have suggested they would like to see those funds added by mid-year. As you heard from Commissioner Barrett, she's nervous that will be too late. From downtown Atlanta, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
Yeah, that's a big move there for sure. So, of course, we'll be staying on top of that story just to see what these commissioners will likely do. We know how, again, how important funding is in a lot of areas. But, again, when we're talking about the arts and whatnot, which happens to be an area not just here in Atlanta, but across our country. And I can say this confidently, knowing that I attended an art school growing up in high school and whatnot, that has always been one of the areas where that funding is cut. So you can understand that there are a lot of people that are passionate about that, not just in our city, but again, across our country. So we'll be waiting to see what commissioners end up doing regarding the arts budget. Well, how about a challenge for young people? So the Hawks are challenging and encouraging students to recycle. Recycling also being something that many would encourage you to do because of how important it is for our earth and our green spaces. The Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena are hosting a challenge right now. And again, they're encouraging students to recycle. So the team and the venue just expanded its partnership with Novellis, and to celebrate that, they actually invited students from David T. Howard Middle School to the arena. So those students there got the chance to create banners to urge recycling in their school. And also they got a behind the scenes tour, which I'm sure they were excited about that, as you can see in the video. The goal here is to extend the Hawks' impact outside of the arena.
Long-term sustainability goals that this event supports is a behavior to continue recycling. Every time we have the opportunity to do the right thing, it is up to us to do that. Hopefully this is going to be instilled in all of us.
So 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are participating in a 3-week challenge right now. They're hoping to see who can recycle the most. The Hawks hope this challenge inspires other schools and groups to host similar challenges. Well, those Super Bowl ads that we all look forward to on Super Bowl game day, what is the funniest one of them all? That's probably hard to determine because there are just so many great ones out there, but we all have at least a couple that come to mind when we think about what we've seen during the big game. You can vote on the funniest Super Bowl commercials of all time tonight. This is the 24th year for the special on CBS that celebrates the famous ads of the big game. You'll be able to watch all the action, Super Bowl greatest commercials, funniest of all time tonight at 9 o'clock only on Atlanta News First. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about that. Because if I had to pick one myself, I don't know. I could think of many heartfelt commercials, but there are so many funny ones too. That's just tough. That's a tough one for a lot of people. Well, we do have a heads up for you this morning regarding the Helene damage aid that many people are still trying to secure. Right now, you're down to the wire. You only have 2 days to apply for assistance for Helene recovery efforts. That deadline to apply for Federal Emergency Management Agency aid is this Friday. You can apply online, by phone, or by visiting a FEMA disaster recovery center. We do have all of the information that you need to know about on the free Atlanta News First app and, of course, on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. Well, we talk about them all the time, and in a good way we talk about them, talking about our friends, our meteorologists, and we have a great team of them here at Atlanta News First. I mean, we do have the best, if I say so myself. But today is a day that we want to just take a moment just to shout them out because it is National Weather Person's Day. Now, I said this earlier on the air. I said we all love them when the weather is going well. And then sometimes we love them a little less when the weather isn't in our favor, as if they can really control that. Because I still think there is some misconception among people who believe that meteorologists control the weather. They don't do that, but they help forecast and help us plan out our days. So we're so thankful for them. So today is National Weather Person's Day, and you can celebrate your favorite weather person. I have a couple of my favorites here, although I love them all. I've got Courtney Jacobazi on our team in the morning, along with Rodney Harris and Ella Dorsey, and they are just a joy to work with. So today is a day where you can honor all of those who work in meteorology and weather forecasting, either on TV, radio, or those who work behind the scenes. It takes a village and it takes a lot of people, a full-blown crew, to make things happen when we go on the air. But this is also a day to recognize those storm spotters, observers, and others in the industry in times of extreme weather. Weather professionals, I should say, are invaluable in delivering the critical information that we need to keep us safe. We just showed you those images that came out of Helene, and you remember when that storm came through our area, the devastation that it left behind. But who were we depending on? We were depending on our local forecasters like the chief meteorologist, Jennifer Valdez, along with Ella Dorsey and Cutter Martin and Rodney Harris and Patrick Peete and Courtney Jacobazi. So many of our weather persons who were there, and they were making sure they kept us safe. And we are so appreciative of that for them. So today, one of those days, maybe you can shout them out as well. Send them a message on social media. I'm sure they'll be so glad to hear from you, just to really take a moment to say thank you for all that they do and for all that they mean to us. Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us here on the First Alert Desk. Of course, we'll have another update for you regarding your weather and some of those changes that are headed our way. We've got rain moving into the area later on today. At 11:30 in our Weather Where You Are segment, you'll hear from meteorologist Ella Dorsey a little bit more about that. And also, she's watching a First Alert weather day for next week. That'll be Tuesday. So lots of changes headed our way. Enjoy the 70s while they last, because the cold is coming back. We knew it wasn't going to last too long. But again, you can always read up on the latest stories and the top stories by visiting AtlantaNewsFirst.com and the free Atlanta News First app. And remember, we'll have another update, our full noon newscast for you on Atlanta News First at noon. Make it a great Wednesday. We'll see you out there.